For 85 years of experience saving folks money and providing great customer service is like realizing there's a crumb tray on the bottom of your toaster, and you don't have to keep turning the toaster upside down to clean it.
How long has that been there? Hey, who needs some croutons?
It's something that's been right there in front of you all along, like the dedicated Geico claims team available to you in the event of an accident to get you back on the road quickly, or realizing that baby carrots are just regular carrots that have been shaved down.
I don't care. They're still cute.
It's something you can't believe you never realized before. Like how Geico's 97% customer satisfaction rating means Geico is committed to providing the best service for their customers. Or how you can peel the top layer of tape off a lint roller and there's a fresh layer underneath.
Marcy, wait till you hear about the lint roller.
You mean how the handle is reusable?
Wait, what?
Trust. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
Signs First is the official sign company for 1025 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
Houston Clinic Orthopedics at TriStar Hendersonville Medical Clinic offers world-class orthopedic care. The doctors at this location specialize in hand, knee, shoulder, hip, foot, ankle, and spine, and general orthopedics. They accept walk-in and same-day appointments. Get back to enjoying life. Schedule your appointment online at tn.houston.com or just walk in to Houston Clinic Orthopedics at TriStar Hendersonville Medical Clinic. When experience matters, trust Houston Clinic Orthopedics.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, broadcasting 97.5 Murfreesboro, 106.3 Williamson County,
ESPN
102.5 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell Media Station.
It's Robby and Rexrode with Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Welcome back in. Hour number 3 of Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. Brought to you by Little Guys Movers. Here's your chance to be your own boss. Join their team of 30-plus years of profits. It's a good times. Visit littleguysfranchise.com. Robby Stanley alongside Joe Rexrode and Michelle Knezovic here with you on this Tuesday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. You got Charles Robinson from Yahoo Sports coming up at 9 o'clock. As we do every Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock, we'll get his thoughts on all things NFL. Chris Mason, Preds TV analyst at 9:30, looking ahead to the Predators and the Senators tonight at Bridgestone Arena. Puck drop 7 o'clock, pregame 6 o'clock here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. Right now, taking your thoughts on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Joe, we discussed this earlier in the show, but some news yesterday when it comes to the Titans and the pursuit of a new stadium. Nate Rao from Axios Nashville putting this out there first yesterday. Governor Bill Lee asking legislature to approve a $500 million in bonds toward the Tennessee Titans' new stadium as a part of his amended budget. And a couple of things that kind of go along with that here. The state funds are contingent on the Titans and the city agreeing on a broader financing package. The Titans are likely to significantly contribute in a financing plan. And commitment is also pretty clear that they need it to be an enclosed stadium as well. So looks like there's momentum that has pretty much been either picked up or fully gained at this point for the Titans to pursue an enclosed stadium. We talked about this a few weeks ago when Nate Rao broke the story about the Titans going from the idea from renovating the stadium over at Nissan to potentially building a new stadium just because of the cost of renovating it is almost the cost of building a new one. And now it looks like the enclosed stadium could be a part of it as well. Your reaction to this news from Nate Rao yesterday that he put out there on Axios Nashville about the $500 million in bonds towards a new Titan stadium that could be an enclosed stadium as well.
Yeah, it tells me that I felt this way anyway, but it just confirms that we're headed quickly in this direction. And one thing we haven't talked about with this is, could this have any impact on the World Cup? Those cities still have not been chosen. I think Nashville as a city, in any event is going to knock it out of the park and impress whoever wants to hold an event in a certain city. Nashville is going to beat out most of the competition on that. But a big thing that was communicated from FIFA was that the stadium needed work essentially. I mean, now FIFA, by my understanding from talking to people in the city, is FIFA has been very, I mean, they've been very, secretive and just hard to read on this, which probably isn't that surprising because FIFA's its own entire different category for another day. But is it possible that a timeline gets established that would actually allow this new stadium to host these World Cup games? I don't know. That seems ambitious, but I know 2026 has been thrown around. I thought initially when the Titans came back and said, the renovations, the study shows that they're going to be more than $1 billion. The 600 million thing isn't going to work, so it can't be a renovation. I thought right then, well, there goes the World Cup. But maybe this actually could strengthen the case if they can get it done by then. I mean, that's another just huge deal to have the World Cup in your city. And of course, there are a bunch of different U.S. cities that are contenders for that. So anyway, that's another event thing to think about. But the event situation for Nashville is about to explode. And it's going to be, look, I mean, there a lot of people are going to make a lot of money on this eventually. And it's the people, of course, who have the money to invest in this. But that's where I think a lot of the money is going to be found for this in the mixed use, the development around the stadium. And I think we're going to get Final Fours on the regular. I think we're going to get some sort of college football playoff presence, at least, the title game here and there, maybe in a new playoff, whenever the heck they figure that stuff out, something more annual. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. And then Super Bowls, at least one, maybe more.
Well, and I think you're going to get a new entertainment district as well. Like I would imagine when this new stadium is put in, that there will be, areas, and maybe not exactly like Fifth and Broad around it, but there will be areas kind of like that around the stadium to kind of liven it up a little bit more over there. I mean, we've talked about this, and I know Darren Donica Chase has been beating the drum on this for a long time. Like that space, that area over there around the stadium, I realize that there's a lot of parking space and there's government buildings over there and there's some businesses over there, but it's a pretty underutilized space. And I feel like with this new stadium, you could utilize and do a whole lot of things over there. That's going to be a part of this if and when the decision is made to build a new stadium.
Yeah, and including, I think apartments, living spaces, which you can't build too much of that right now. As young people who are, we can ask our actual Nashville resident Michelle about how more inventory might help rent rates a little bit.
Seriously, because it's absurd.
Do we have a red rant? Can we get a red rant?
Yeah, right now.
Let's up the wages so we can actually afford rent in the city. How about that?
There you go.
There's that too. Yeah, it should be. Look, it should be. There should be. I mean, a lot of good things can come out of this. There's still the question. There's still a big chunk of money that's kind of like, okay, where exactly is that coming from? I mean, how much is Amy Adams Strunk putting up?
Yeah.
How much will the NFL give? The NFL gave what they give Buffalo, $200 million.
Yeah.
So there's that money too that you would expect some.
Yeah.
Am I going Robo? Am I going?
No, you're
Robo
good.
now.
You're good.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were just good. I thought you were keeping going. But I guess not.
Sorry.
Let's go to our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. LD from McMinnville texting in says, in your opinion, does the enclosed stadium include field turf or natural grass similar to Arizona? This is coming from LD from McMinnville.
Yeah. The Arizona thing is interesting. They have that sort of like grass like bringing in and stuff. I think that'd be cool. But I think the only way I would expect that would be if it's a retractable roof. I have my doubts about that. The vibes I've gotten have been down on that, and it does add cost. I do think that here we would use, or they would use, a retractable roof more often than in some places that have that.
Correct.
But is it worth I mean, I would like it. I'd be in favor of it to have open air at times when you can have it. You know, some of those, it's hard to beat, like a great fall day and football played in the outdoors on grass. That's something that's going to be lost here. And frankly, that is sad to me. But my guess right now is that we're talking enclosed, not retractable, and field turf.
Oh, and as we talked about, maybe a smaller capacity as well. I mean, that seems to be the way people are thinking of, you know, you got 69,000, whatever is the number over there at Nissan Stadium right now. I would expect it, like in today's world in 2022, with the NFL being what it is and people watching from home and really just sports fans being what they are, 60,000, 58,000, 61,000, maybe somewhere in that area would probably be my guess.
Yep. And by the way, I did look up earlier. SoFi is 70, so that's big for this day and age. 70 capacity is big. And yeah, I would think it used to be everything had to be 80 plus, you know. And I mean, honestly, I believe that even UT, like if they could cut Neyland down to like 90 or something, that'd be a better size for them. You know, maybe even 85. Now I know that, you know, there are still going to be days where they can fill all the seats, but that's just where things are good. Less capacity, more more amenities, more offerings, frankly, for people who can afford really expensive stuff. I mean, that's where you make your money. By the way, someone, who the heck was it? I want to give proper credit. My little idea about the port at every seat got dunked on pretty well.
It was Dustin from Hopkinsville.
Dustin, yeah, an electrician, said, yeah, like the cost would be ridiculous and everything, which I appreciate that. What about an iPhone port like every four seats, and different people can I get in there? Okay.
I'd be interested to see how many fights that would cause, but I'm here for it.
Yeah, that's true. It is possible you get some brawls going over the iPhone port.
Bill's Mafia.
We can't have nice things. We can't have nice
listen, you'd
things.
have people hogging them, you know? They'd be like, oh, let me just keep my phone attached the entire time. Like me, probably.
It could get feisty in
That'd
there.
be you. It'd be you, and then they'd be the subject of a red rant when you try to take it away. I'm a big fan of red rant.
Yes. Got a text that says FIFA requires natural grass. So if that's true, which that makes sense that they would require.
That's a great point. Yes. Yeah, that's a great point. So maybe it is or not. Maybe it is dead. Maybe not. Maybe they're going to. Is there? I don't believe there is, but. Is it possible, or is there a fully enclosed, non-retractable stadium that has natural grass? It seems difficult.
It seems like that'd be difficult to maintain, but I don't know.
If Derrick Henry's still running the ball in 2026 for the Titans, got to go natural grass. Yeah. I'm sorry.
You better get some natural grass in there. We'll continue to take your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. More coming on the stadium discussion next. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025, The Game.
Here they come, turn 4, final lap.
Hey, it's Chase McCabe. Join me for Chasing Checkers every Sunday morning at 8, and you can hear some of the big names in racing, like Denny Hamlin.
I always like to undersell and overdeliver.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.
It would be amazing to watch a Cup race compete there again.
Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, I think we learned a lot.
And several others. It's Chasing Checkers every Sunday at 8 on ESPN 1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Tired of mosquitoes ruining your summer? Stop the bite. Go to tiredofmosquitoes.com and check out your special offer. Take back your summer. Go to tiredofmosquitoes.com.
Hey guys, it's the new year. Are you still struggling with erectile dysfunction? I've yet to meet anyone that enjoys timing those intimate moments around a pill. Well, now you don't have to. The advanced wave technology at Hillside Medical has been shown by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic to restore and even regrow blood vessels. It can improve circulation and eliminate erectile dysfunction. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call us in the next 2 minutes and you'll receive a consultation, assessment, and blood flow ultrasound free. Plus, a special gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. You're going to love that. Trust me. This is a $600 value, free to callers now. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Guys, get rid of your ED and get that spark back. Call Hillside Medical now to qualify. 615-576-5000.
Markdown Madness is almost over, but Electronic Express is still bringing slam dunk deals. Watch the finals with 4K TVs from Samsung, LG, Sony, Hisense, TCL, and more. We've also got huge savings in every department: computers and gaming, smart home, housewares, mattresses, and more. Plus, save up to 40% on all appliances with up to 36 months free financing. Shop in-store or online with free express delivery on most items. Experience Markdown Madness at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
All the games are crazy in March, and so are Social Furniture's prices. Shop today at Social Furniture during their end of March sale. You'll find all sofas and sectionals for your home on sale now with same-day delivery. Social Furniture's end of March sale going on now. Enjoy your new sofas and sectionals now with no waiting and same-day delivery. Visit Social Furniture today in West Nashville at 5412 Charlotte Avenue. Forget the big box store. Support local. Support social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good, really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless, now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Dell's semi-annual sale is the perfect opportunity for a significant business upgrade. Save up to 45% on Dell computers with Windows 11 Pro and get an easy start to your workday. Plus, enjoy special pricing on Dell docks, monitors, servers, and more, all with easy financing options through Dell Financial Services. Speak to a Dell Technologies advisor today to find the right tech for your business with fast, free shipping. Call 877-ASK-DELL. Again, that's 877-ASK-DELL.
Interact with Robby and Rexrode. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode. You're on ESPN 1025 The Game, streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. We are live from the Hillside Medical Game Studio here with you on this Tuesday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. Taking your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. Matt from Camden texting in says, like Jared said yesterday, I think this will end up getting pretty ugly because Cooper will not want to put up any money, and the Titans in the state won't be able to build it on their own, and you won't get more than Buffalo got from the NFL as well. I mean, Joe, to that point, the big question to me is how much money are the Titans and Amy Adams-Strunk willing to put up in this conversation? And that's the answer that I don't know, that I would be really interested to see.
Oh my God. Sorry. Oh, I wasn't even muted. I was scrambling like to unmute and I could have just talked. Sorry. We've been on the text line. Text line's been popping today. And by the way, real quick, a couple people have pointed out, Nate and someone else, Vegas, they have grass. They have grass as a possibility there too. So there you go. So fully enclosed, looks like a huge Roomba and grass. Yeah, look, it's possible. There's some money that right now we just don't know exactly, exactly where it's coming from. So it could get ugly. It's possible. It could also not get ugly. It doesn't have to get ugly, but certainly, the number to me that you start with is Amy Adams-Strunk.
Yeah.
So you got 500,000. The state here, or 500,000. I keep saying that 500 million.
Big difference.
That the state in bonds, the state here is starting out here with a pretty big chunk. Metro, don't know. And how does that work? And of course, again, to the Tennessean story on this that we talked about earlier. And you know what? While I'm mentioning that, let me just go ahead and go to that so I can actually read it. That particular passage. A couple things from that story. Again, Nate Rao, good job on the scoop. Nate has been out front on this for Axios. Former Tennessean reporter Nate Rao, Stanley Mazza and Cassandra Stevenson, also the story yesterday on this. And key things to remember. One line here, the state committed, a portion of its future sales tax proceeds in the stadium redevelopment area to paying for construction. There's going to be a lot of this that's going to be around the mixed use. I mean, that's the big payoff, right? If private investors, you want to get in on this, you can help finance the stadium, and then look at how, ultimately the idea is you're rich, you can make more money by investing in this and be richer, So this line from the paragraph from the story from the Tennessean quote, it's unclear what Metro's contribution to a new stadium would be. City officials have indicated long-term financing would come from private investors who would partner to shape a new neighborhood and entertainment district surrounding the stadium, end quote. So that's the hope, rich people who would like to get richer rather than Joe taxpayer.
Make that Joe Rexrode money. You toss it in there, man.
That's right. I'm thinking about it. A couple mil, something like that, just a drop in the bucket, but we're discussing at home.
SL in Knoxville on the text line, who I guess is not in Knoxville, says Nashville taxpayer since 1993 wants to know when the freeloaders in Williamson County will kick something in. So SL taking a shot at the people of Franklin Brentwood.
Hey, I live in Nolensville. I'm in Williamson County.
Yeah.
Shut up, man. No. Hey, I moved the stadium out here. I mean, we got room in Nolensville. Move the stadium to Williamson County, and then you got Williamson County pet taxpayers. I got a shorter drive to work. I might even kick in $3 million if we go that route.
Gator Tim on the text line says maybe if the Titans built a 40,000 seat stadium, their fans wouldn't sell their tickets to the opponents. This coming from Gator Tim on the text line.
I think they'd actually just sell them for more money if it was if the supply was that low.
Yeah.
Titans fans did a lot better last year. Let's remember. I mean, although there were some conflicting reports on the crowd makeup of the Titans Bills game.
Yes, there was. Anywhere from 10% to 90% Bills fans. What a range.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't 10. It definitely wasn't 10. It was more than that. But in every game last year, it was a overwhelming majority Titans fans, and in most games it was, I'd say, in most games there wasn't a huge opposing presence, and that was a departure from the past, as everybody knows who goes to that stadium regularly. Last year was a big change. Now what I'm interested in is the buzz for this last team was massive.
Yep.
And it actually lived up to it for the most part by getting the 1 seed, and then you have the playoff collapse. So what's the buzz for the 2022 team, and what does it look like in terms of tickets and fan makeup? Because remember, I think next year, fingers crossed, there hopefully will be no restrictions, no limitations on travel and people wanting to go to different cities to go to games and packing stadiums and all that stuff. I mean, we're basically there, but we should be fully there by then. So the full on, anybody who was maybe like, I'm not going to travel this year, next year should be like, yeah, let's go all out. So does it go back to being more opponent occupied because the Titans are supposed to be good, but they're not going into next season as an alleged contender? Not really.
Well, they're not. And there's also, you got some interesting teams coming in here too, right? You got the Cowboys coming in next year, the Raiders coming in. Raiders always travel well.
Yep.
You got the Giants coming in, the Bengals, not that far of a drive. Like, there's some interesting teams coming in here in terms of what that stadium could look like next year.
Well, Cowboys and Raiders have all sorts of bandwagon fans in every city.
Oh, yeah.
So you will hear both of them. And yeah, I think the Bengals, I think given the excitement over that team coming off a Super Bowl run that the Titans helped put on a platter for them, yeah, they'll probably be here in force.
Do people still voluntarily watch New York Giants football? Is that a thing?
That's a good question. Yeah, the Giants.
You would think New York team, there'd be a lot of fans coming in, but like, do people like actually watch New York Giants football?
No.
Yeah, I think maybe some of them have switched to Hofstra.
Yeah, maybe so.
We'll find out.
I guess we will. They'll be coming in here next year. I mean, look, I think we've talked about this too. Regardless of if this stadium gets built, when it happens, there will be, I think, an intrigue, and people will be buying up tickets for the first couple of years, regardless of how good the team is. Like the Titans could be bad in 2026 or 2027 or whenever this thing gets built, and I think people will come to the game just because they want to see the new stadium. I could be wrong, and that's not going to last forever. Like eventually you got to start winning, but there is that part of it too, where people, when something is new, they want to go check out what's new.
Oh, no question. And I think this imagined new stadium is still in the imagining stages. Again, it's they do it right, they do it well. It'll be under $2 billion, and it will be big for the city beyond the Titans. And that's the big selling point here. Talk about Amy Adams Strunk, how much you kicking in, what's the breakdown of costs? Look, from the Titans perspective, if I'm on that side of the table, I'm saying let's calculate what it means to have every big concert you can imagine here year round.
Yep.
Let's calculate what it means to have the Final Four here every 5-6 years. Let's calculate what it means to have college football playoff games here. And by the way, how about the Super Bowl every, I don't know. Is that going to be rotational? I don't know about that. That one I'm very interested in. But if I'm on that Titans side, I'm saying it will be.
Yeah.
Why would the NFL not want to have the Super Bowl here? Just like New Orleans has had it quite regularly, and some of the other spots that have had it quite regularly. Nashville's getting in the rotation on everything. What does that mean for the city, for the hotels, for the restaurants, for everybody? Okay, so why am I kicking anything in?
Right, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm
Yeah.
Amy Adams Strunk, I'm saying it.
Yeah.
I don't know if people want to hear it, but that's what I'm saying. And then we know how the NFL approaches these things. They'll move.
We'll continue to take your thoughts on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. Attention men, have you been struggling with erectile dysfunction? Well, Hillside Medical Clinic has a breakthrough treatment for ED that does not require any pills, injections, or surgery. And right now, Andrew joins me from Hillside Medical Clinic to tell us all about it. Andrew, what's going on?
Hello there. That's right, guys. If you're out there a little frustrated in the bedroom, you're normal. If you're hating that pill, I don't blame you. We have a major breakthrough for erectile dysfunction. It's called acoustic wave therapy. Hillside Medical uses the most advanced version. And here's what it does. It delivers pressure waves through the skin into the blood vessels, causing those blood vessels to open up and expand. That's a great thing. More blood flow. It is shown to get rid of the erectile dysfunction without the use of medication.
This sounds like a game changer in the bedroom, Andrew. What kinds of clinical studies have been done on this new technology?
Well, that is what is so great is I think clinically proven is safe to say at this point because of 50 studies from universities, journals, hospitals. Our technology is heavily vetted. This is welcome to the future. No more pills. It is safe and effective and has been said to lead to a clinical increase in blood flow.
And Andrew, you have a special offer for our listeners. Call in right now.
We certainly do. If you're ready to regain your love life or you just want to improve in the bedroom, we do a lot of that. Call us right now. We'll set you up for an exam, assessment, even a blood flow ultrasound, and we'll do it free. You'll get the gift for coming in that produces immediate results in the bedroom. You'll love that. Trust me. Worth hundreds of dollars. It's totally free to callers now.
You heard it, guys. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction by treating the root cause of the problem. Call Hillside Medical Clinic right now to qualify for that offer at 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Put a stop to your ED and regain your love life. Call Hillside Medical Clinic at 615-576-5000.
Hey, I'm Matthias Ekholm, and this is Smashville.
Ekholm is shot, he scores! Matthias Ekholm gets the Predators' third of the night.
You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network, ESPN 1025, The Game.
The 2022 Major League Soccer season is officially here, and the Nashville SC Stadium nearly complete. Don't miss Nashville SC's home opener May 1st. Grab a seat at nashvillesc.com/22ticks.
Hey y'all, it's Caroline Fenton, and I want to tell you about my friends over at 312 Pizza Company. 312 Pizza is my favorite place in town. It's family owned and operated, bringing you a slice of Chicago to Nashville. 312 Pizza Company specializes in deep dish pizza, thin crust pizza, and all things Chicago style, always made from scratch using secret family recipes passed down generation to generation. 312 Pizza is open every day except for Tuesday and is located in Germantown with dine-in, takeout, and curbside available. Call 615-730-7888 or head to 312pizzaco.com to order. 312 Pizza Company, Nashville's authentic Chicago pizzeria.
Dell's semi-annual sale is the perfect opportunity for a significant business upgrade. Save up to 45% on Dell computers with Windows 11 Pro and get an easy start to your workday. Plus, enjoy special pricing on Dell docks, monitors, servers, and more, all with easy financing options through Dell Financial Services. Speak to a Dell Technologies advisor today to find the right tech for your business with fast, free shipping. Call 877-ASK-DELL. Again, that's 877-ASK-DELL.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs.
In the 1974 preseason, Milwaukee Bucks center Kareem Abdul-Jabbar made it clear he wanted to move to a major city, specifically his hometown of New York City or Los Angeles. After a failed attempt by the New York Knicks, the Los Angeles Lakers and the Bucks agreed on a deal to send Kareem and his backup Walt Wesley to LA for 4 players. He went on to win 5 titles with the Lakers, as well as 3 regular season MVPs.
Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
Every team is one conversation away from a trade that can make all the difference. The same is true for your business. That's why when you post a job for free, LinkedIn Jobs taps into a network of over 770 million professionals to find the right people for your role. LinkedIn Jobs helps you narrow down to only the most qualified candidates, which means you can start hiring the right people faster. Go to linkedin.com/sports to post your job for free. That's linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
Wednesday night, it's a Western Conference battle in the NBA.
Torrey inside, great muscle move.
As the Phoenix Suns take on the Golden State Warriors.
Klay Thompson's 5 of 7.
Coverage begins at 8:30
on ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, this is Matthias Ekholm. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 1025 The Game.
Preds fans, join us for Smashville Live tomorrow on 1025 The Game. Smashville Live airs on Wednesdays during the Preds season from 6 to 7 p.m., featuring Preds players, former players, and other special guests. You can watch the show via 1025 The Game's Twitch, Facebook page, YouTube, and Twitter. So be sure to join us for Smashville Live, brought to you by New Amsterdam Vodka, Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, and Red Spirits and Wine in Bellevue. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game, brought to you by Little Guys Movers. Here's your chance to be your own boss. Join their team of 30-plus years of profits and good times. Visit littleguysfranchise.com. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Michelle Knezovic here with you, taking your thoughts on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. John, the mailman, texting in. Says, I can confirm that people still watch the New York Giants voluntarily. Source, my depressed friends in New York/New Jersey. This is coming from John the mailman. So maybe there will be some real life New York Giants fans in Nissan Stadium next year.
Good to know. Good to know. I mean, hey, if you're a New York Giants fan, it's tough sledding right now, but you can look around at all those fan bases, a lot of fan bases who don't have those 2 sweet Super Bowl championships against the GOAT.
That's true.
Yeah, you can milk those for decades.
Kryptonite against the Pharaoh. He's not practicing against the Giants. He's practicing against the Titans, for God's sake. You want to win any part of the Giants?
That's a good point. He'd probably re-retire. He'd probably re-retire if he had to do that.
Broadwood. Josh from Lebanon texting in says, if the stadium is approved and all the funding is gathered, where would the Titans play while the construction of a new stadium is being built? Where would the stadium be built as well? This is coming from Josh from Lebanon on the text line.
Well, where is pretty clear. It's over there. I guess, potentially East Bank, very, very nearby. It's a good question. Is it, can they make it seamless to where you, can you start some construction while still playing in Nissan and then you just transfer it the next year?
I think you'd almost have to.
I think you'd almost have to too. Otherwise, I don't know. Go back to Vandy, revisit the old days, the good old days, the 1998 season in Vanderbilt, which sounds like it was wonderful for all parties involved.
Yeah, it really does.
To do that. But yeah, I think they would be able to make it happen so that you would just seamlessly go from one season in the old place to the next season in the new place.
I got a text that says there are over 100,000 hotel rooms in the state of Tennessee. Why not a hotel stadium tax and make tourists pay for it? 3 nights for over 4 years at 60% capacity is $260 million over the course of 4 years before the current contract is up. That's a lot of math. I like that from the texter.
Good math. I was told there'd be no math on this program, but if other people are doing it, I'm okay with it. But look, to that point, I mean, that's the whole idea now, with these stadium deals is, and look, it makes sense. Rather than, okay, again, Joe taxpayer, oh, my bill just went up. I don't give a crap about football. Why am I paying for this? More trying to focus it to people who actually do benefit from or do utilize it, who do want to pay for it. And that's the idea. And again, that's where if you can get private investment around the mixed use, around the restaurants and all the whatever else would be in that area, in that mini district or whatever you want to call it. And then, of course, over time, they should be paid back and then some handsomely. That's the idea. And then you take more burden off the taxpayer. But look, there's a lot of zeros right now that aren't accounted for. So until they are, it's going to be really interesting to see the plan and the response and the conversation and whether this actually gets contentious. Buffalo's situation was, I think, relatively smooth. But we've obviously seen it go the other way. And of course, we've seen teams just bolt out of cities for no reason too. That's not happening here. But, this isn't going to be St. Louis, but it could get tough. No doubt about it.
Well, and to that point, I mean, there's a quote in this piece from Nate Rowell and Axios from the mayor's office, not the mayor himself, but from the mayor's office. It says, quote, Mayor Cooper is committed to 2 goals, keeping the Titans in Nashville for generations to come, and doing that in a way that does not divert tax dollars from education, affordable housing, infrastructure, or other general fund obligations. We're continuing to study stadium options that allow us to do both. That's the quote in the piece from Axios yesterday from Nate Rowell. So obviously, when you start talking about new stadium and throwing numbers around like this, the average citizen in Davidson County, their first question is going to be, well, okay, great. That sounds awesome. Who in the world's paying for this? Because it's not going to be me. That's what's the first thing people say when it comes to discussions like this.
No doubt. And again, I am not quibbling at all. Now, you can argue back and someone say, okay, you may not care about football, but there is a benefit to the city, to the region, to the county, having an NFL team here. You could make that case back to a taxpayer, but look, still remember covering I've talked about this before, but Titans at Chargers 2016. Mariota was actually pretty amazing that day, but he did throw a bad pick 6. But other than that, he was pretty good. But at halftime of that game,
other than that one, he was great.
No, but honestly, I mean, he did kind of light it up that day. Yeah, the pick 6 was bad. He lit it up otherwise. But the halftime of that game was LaDainian Tomlinson. I think Dan Fouts is out there. I don't know why I didn't go get his autograph, and a bunch of other Chargers legends, basically begging people to vote for the referendum, to build the new stadium, which of course it failed miserably.
Yep.
And now they're the LA Chargers. So this happens too. I mean, you gotta proceed very intentionally with a very good plan here, and people have to come together and figure it out. And by the way, if you want to go, on Amy, how much is Amy Adams Strunk kicking in herself? She is right near the bottom, by the way, of the NFL owners in terms of net worth. Around 1.3 billion in reported net worth. So, by the way, would you care to guess? This is from a CBS Sports piece in 21. Who's number one on the list?
Stan Kroenke.
That would have been my guess too. He is merely third at 8.2 billion net worth. David Tepper, the Panthers, 14.5.
Wow,
14.5, big ones.
Good for him.
Yeah, Jerry Jones. Sorry, buddy, you're number 2, 8.9.
That means you can play Sam Darnold and Cam Newton to be your quarterback when you're making those big bucks. It's good stuff.
But so, Kroenke, who of course people in St. Louis just love that guy.
Yeah.
And by the way, talk about a lawsuit that's not gone his way. He also just said, just keep throwing money into SoFi. So, that was like a $5 billion project in the end. He's a guy who can do stuff like that, right? Amy Adams Strunk at 1.3. I know, a mere 1.3 billion. But that does make her situation different than some of these guys.
I got a text that asks, how much would funding this new stadium affect the possibility of Major League Baseball and a new ballpark coming to Nashville? I mean, that depends on how much the Titans are paying for it, I guess. I mean, like if it's a lot of it's coming from the Titans, probably wouldn't affect it all that much. If it's coming from the Davidson County taxpayer, it's going to affect it a lot.
Yeah. And again, I mean, even, the Geodis Park, which I'm very excited to see in action. I mean, that was, you talk a relatively small scale, right? Compared to this stuff. I mean, that was not you snap your fingers and it's all good. They had a good plan and ultimately it got through, but there was a lot of haggling, a lot of back and forth. I was at some of those council meetings. So now, I can't even like wrap my head around the MLB thing, but it's just, again, this is one of many reasons I've been sitting there saying, a lot more has to happen to even get serious about that discussion.
Our fearless leader has survived Las Vegas and is back and is texted in, says, haven't some cities raised the hotel tax to help pay for things like this? Make out-of-towners pay for it. This is from Chase McCabe, who is out of the fountain in Vegas and has made his way back.
Well, he just got scooped on the text line with that idea.
He did. Maybe
yes. Was that you, Chase? Is that your burner and you didn't realize it? You're still a little hazy from Vegas. That's a good idea.
Yeah, great. Wow, the most intense Robo Joe ever right there. Great idea. He's still going. We'll take your thoughts on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. 615-737-1025. 615-737-1025. Let's go. It's time for Pred's Pick to Click here on Robby and Rexrode. Be the first caller at 615-737-1025. 615-737-1025. Caller number 1 will have a chance to guess the goal scorer for the Predators tonight as they take on the Ottawa Senators. We'll do that next. 615-737-1025. This is Robby and Rexrode, ESPN 1025, The Game.
Play ball!
Your Nashville Sounds are back for opening day baseball at First Horizon Park, Tuesday, April 5th. The Sounds host the Durham Bulls for 6 games, Tuesday to Sunday, with giveaways throughout the week. Get your tickets today at NashvilleSounds.com.
How can a half-carat diamond magically grow into a 2-carat diamond? With Genesis Diamond's 110% diamond upgrade guarantee.
Our trade-up policy is the best in the United States.
That's Stasia at Genesis, explaining how if you buy a diamond today and want to trade it in for a bigger one next year, Genesis always gives you back your original purchase price plus an extra 10%.
We will gladly give you every single penny you paid for the diamond plus an extra 10%, which is amazing. No one does that.
As a real-life example, take Stasia's customer Paul.
When he first started, he got a half carat, and then as he became became more successful. We rewarded him. He came in and he got a 3/4 carat, and then he's traded for a carat. I'm sure I'll see him this year for a 1.5 carats. As they grow and change and become more successful, their engagement ring can grow with them also.
And there's no catch, no minimum trade-up requirement, and it works on diamond studs and diamond pendants as well.
You get every single investment dollar you put into the diamond, you will get an extra 10% towards the new diamond.
Genesis Diamonds and Luxury Pre-Owned Rolexes.
You can trade as many times as you wish.
Continuously voted best jewelry store and best place to buy an engagement ring. Green Hills and Cool Springs.
At Copper Branch, they live life to the fullest. Food is your energy and your life. Located in the heart of downtown Nashville, their goal is to serve you, your friends, and family quality, great-tasting, plant-based power foods. Visit Copper Branch at 601 Church Street for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with convenient and validated parking during library hours, and download their app for curbside pickup. Or come out for songwriter and live music nights several times throughout the week to empower, energize, and feel your best. Visit Copper Branch today.
Smokeville Smoke Shop has been serving Hendersonville and Metro Nashville since 2015 and is committed to providing high-quality, hands-on, and personable customer service. Stop into Smokeville Smoke Shops in Hendersonville, Gallatin, Hermitage, and Goodlettsville to try any of their wide selection of locally sourced products and selection of top nationwide brands, including vapes, hookah, hand-blown glass, detox systems, e-juices, kratom products, leaf wraps, and much more. Visit Smokeville Smoke Shops today.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Dashboard light problems? We can help. Our free Fix Finder service can read your check engine light, ABS light, and service indicator light, and give you possible solutions, verified by licensed technicians. You'll even get detailed results sent straight to your email so you have them when you need it most. It's the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes. The free Fix Finder service, only at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
More details at AutoZone.com.
A show that doesn't pull any punches.
And they win a playoff game and they get to the divisional round and he doesn't give up a sack the rest of the year. I don't give two poops. I'm done.
And has an opinion on everything.
That ref crew that was just terrible. Threw flags on almost every possession.
Jared Stillman hosts Stillman and Company.
Tough guy. He's a really tough guy.
Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6. Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Robby and Rexrode is on ESPN 1025 The Game.
Curve on front and the score!
Who's going to find the back of the net in tonight's Preds game? Robby and Rexrode make their picks to click and welcome a listener to do the same. Pick to Click is brought to you by New Amsterdam Vodka, the official vodka of the NHL.
And it is that time of the day, time for Preds Pick to Click here on Robby and Rexrode, brought to you by New Amsterdam Vodka. The Nashville Predators in action tonight, hosting the Ottawa Senators at Bridgestone Arena. Puck drop at 7 o'clock, pregame at 6 o'clock here on ESPN 1025 The Game. And the standings in Preds Pick to Click are as such. The listeners still in first place with 16 correct answers. Now tied in second place. Robbie Stanley, 15 correct answers. Joe Rexrode, 15 correct answers as well. Michelle with 10. Rexrode, I've caught you. I'm now aiming for the listeners in the competition.
Well, I have no idea if my words will be heard right now, so I guess I could just swear at you at this point and maybe just be like,
Yeah, that was pretty iconic.
It's pretty good stuff. Let's go to our 1025 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in today's participant, Kenny from Nashville. Kenny, thanks for calling in to Robby and Rexrode.
Thanks for having me.
So, Kenny, who is your pick to click tonight for the Nashville Predators?
I'm picking Philip Forsberg.
Philip Forsberg, the selection. Kenny, thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
Philip Forsberg, the selection by Kenny from Nashville. So Forsberg is off the board. Joe Rexrode, it is your turn in the competition. No Philip Forsberg. Your pick to click tonight for the Nashville Predators.
Matt Duchene getting back at his old team.
The Matt Duchene revenge tour against the Ottawa Senators tonight. Forsberg and Duchene off the board. Michelle Knezovic, your pick to click tonight for the Nashville Predators.
Okay, well, since I picked him for the Vegas game and then he had a baby, so he didn't play, Tanner Jeannot. I also picked him to fight, assist, and have a goal, and then he had it in the next game. So Tanner Jeannot, I'm picking.
Tanner Jeannot, the selection from Michelle Knezovic.
The Gordie Howe hat trick.
Gordie Howe hat trick. Getting after it. Give me the captain I will go number 59, Roman Josi, with a goal tonight, his 19th of the year. I think he gets one in there tonight. He continues his march towards the single-season points record for the Predators and 100 points as well. So Roman Josi gets one tonight. So Forsberg, the selection from Kenny from Nashville, Joe Rexrode going with Matt Duchene, Michelle with Tanner Jeannot, and myself, Robbie Stanley, going with Roman Josi in the competition tonight. So congratulations to Luke Cunnin and Colton Sissons for scoring tonight. Should be good stuff.
Exactly. So speaking of Josi, I think we got tweeted this early in the show, and we haven't discussed it yet. The Norris rankings. You see this? Someone tweeted this at us.
Yeah, is this from the Evolving Hockey?
Yes.
Analytic website, and how apparently Cale Makar's one. It's a combination of Victor Hedman and Adam Fox, and then there's Josi and Devin Tays and somebody else. I'm telling you,
exactly.
Look, and I don't put a whole lot of stock into that. That's just basically an analytic way of looking at things. And first off, it's ridiculous. So this is part of what I'm talking about in hockey. I think there are leagues that maybe have not embraced analytics enough. And I think there are leagues that embrace it too much. And hockey people by far embrace it way too much. I don't think there's any question about that. But Roman Josi's analytics is pretty good too. This is why I think the Predators are pushing so hard. And this is why a lot of people are pushing so hard, because people are just talking about Cale Makar and Adam Fox and Victor Hedman. And up until last week is basically when they started talking about Roman Josi, because they looked around and they said, oh my gosh, he's got 25 points in the month of March. It's unbelievable. But up until that, nobody around the league had been talking about Roman Josi. It's incredible to me.
Yeah. And it's just, I guess I don't totally get it, because sometimes a player can kind of come out of nowhere and it takes some time. Like Saros last year with the Vezina, I thought one of the factors that hurt him was just that he's a new starter. He didn't have really an established name in the league. Roman Josi has won a Norris. So, he's been not widely, unanimously regarded and accepted as one of the top defensemen in the game. So why, when he's on this absolutely outrageous pace, doing ridiculous things, granted for a good, not great team, but still, why would that be so missed by so many people?
I don't know. As Jacob from Murfreesboro on the text line points out, when you have offensive numbers like this, it starts to pop, and it's just been at a different level in March. Roman Josi needs 3 points tonight to tie Bobby Orr for the most points by a defenseman in a single month in NHL history. He's got 28 points this month, and Orr's record is 31. So when you're in the same conversation with Bobby Orr, which a lot of the things that Josi's doing this year is in the same conversation with Bobby Orr, you're doing some pretty good stuff out there. But I don't get it. One of the complaints that I have about the Norris Trophy race every year is that at some point it basically turns into, all right, which defenseman has the most points in the league? And that puts them in the Norris Trophy race, which again, if you're Josi this year, you should be excited about that. But I just feel like there's so much talk about Makar and Adam Fox. And I get it. Adam Fox plays for the Rangers. Victor Hedman plays for the two-time defending Cup champions. I still think Victor Hedman might be the best defenseman in the league. He's pretty darn good. But the fact that it's really taken until about 2 weeks ago for the rest of the league to pick up on what Roman Josi's been doing is pretty ridiculous to me.
Yeah, and again, I'm sure you could find plenty of NHL media members who'd be like, "Nah, man, I've been talking about him for weeks." But it just seems like there's too many people who have had to catch up here late. So, that's the thing. Something like that actually would be really important. It would be important for him to get the 3 tonight, because that's one of those things. Then, that's one of those things that's whoa, Bobby Orr, that record for an entire month, and then it gets spread around the league, and it gets into your head. Because look, awards voting, it's kind of dumb. We've talked about it, but it's kind of dumb. There's a lot of people, and I've absolutely been guilty of this before. I vote every year for college basketball All-America teams. Do you think I spend hours researching? I watch a lot of college hoops, so I feel pretty informed. But you got 10 other things going on. It's boom, click, 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 click. Okay, Oscar Sheba. Yep. Okay, Sheba. Yep. All right, here we go. I mean, it's so these, the pro hockey writers, some do their homework and are really meticulous about it. Good for them. There are plenty of people who are voting on these awards who are just like, okay, what's the okay, but okay, yeah. Makar, that highlight, that was amazing. Show me the point number totals. Okay, all right, I'm voting for that. I mean, we talked about this with I talked about this with C-Mace a couple weeks ago about how maybe they should restrict this to like a panel and people who, because the thing is, when you get people who cover one team, yeah, they pay attention to the league, but it's hard to be totally up on all this stuff. You're so absorbed in like the team you cover, like a panel of people who, and it could be a mix of like media and former players or whatever. I think you'd probably have better voting and maybe even like a discussion among the panel, as opposed to just individuals who belong to pro hockey writers who click a link,
Yeah, I mean, look, there are problems with every voting system. Like we talked about the Vezina last year. It's voted on by general managers. Do we think that GMs around the league are sitting there just studying goalies left and right, or are they worried about their team? Like it's basically like, hey, yeah, go make this vote for me. So like there are problems with every type of voting system. It's not perfect, but I agree. Look, if Cale Makar wins the Norris Trophy, am I going to be like outraged? No, Cale Makar deserves to win a Norris Trophy. Roman Josi deserves to win a Norris Trophy too. That's just part of its timing, right? Like most years, if Cale Makar is having the year he's having, it's not really all that close. He wins the Norris Trophy. Most year, if Roman Josi is having the year he's having right now, it's not really all that close. He wins the Norris Trophy. They just happen to be having the same year this year.
But at least I think we should at least kind of get to like that's the clear top two.
That needs to be the top two. Like I don't know what else we're doing here.
That's kind of ridiculous if that's not the obvious discussion.
I think so as well. I'm interested to see if it plays out that way. Coming up next, we'll be joined by Charles Robinson from Yahoo Sports. We'll get his thoughts on the latest on all things in the National Football League. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
The MTSU Blue Raiders live here.
Down, Middle Tennessee. 3-ball, yes, sir.
And when you're in the borough, tune us in on 97.5.
In the end zone, caught, touchdown.
We are Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Another in-town matchup for the Vandy boys. This is the Commodore Report. I'm Kevin Ingram. Off a tough weekend at South Carolina, Vanderbilt baseball returns to work tonight against Lipscomb at First Horizon Park. Coach Tim Corbin says the defensive plays made by Carolina, along with some timely hits, were the difference in Saturday's finale in Columbia. An 8-6 loss that decided the series.
The center field catch saved at least 2 other runs. Wimmer's play up the middle was another run. That was after the Spencer Jones double off the fence. Keegan hits a hard ground ball up the middle, looks like a single, turns into an out. So they got the hits with timely hits. We did not. We had 22 guys on base. We just couldn't convert.
That from Monday's edition of Commodore Hour. Tonight's game's at 6 o'clock start here in Nashville. The Commodores are ranked 9th this week in the D1 baseball poll with a big series against now top-ranked Tennessee coming up this weekend. Men's basketball coach Jerry Stackhouse is a finalist for the Ben Jobe Award, presented each year by College Insider to the top minority coach in Division I. The winner will be announced later this week at the Final Four in New Orleans. Spring work for Vanderbilt football with the next practice coming up Wednesday. The team hosted Pro Day on Monday with a few Commodores among the prospects working out for scouts. The black and gold spring game is April 16th. And Vanderbilt's bowling team is back home from New Orleans with the trophy from the Southland Championship. If you missed our interview with Coach John Williamson on Commodore Hour, you can download it at the Anchor podcast page on Apple and Spotify. That is the Commodore Report on 102.5 The Game at ESPN 94.9.
The 2022 Major League Soccer season is officially here, and Nashville SC's new home, Geodis Park, is nearly complete. Don't miss Nashville SC's home opener May 1st. Secure your season tickets now. Come on and grab a seat at NashvilleSC.com/22ticks.
Love Delta 8? Calm the madness with the help of Dazed. As one of the only Delta 8 brands that is truly single-sourced, quality and consistency is our guarantee. We are local and aim to provide the purest product while educating the consumer every step of the way. Stock up and score with Dazed next time you're at your local smoke shop. To browse our product line, visit dazed8.com. DAZED8.com.
In growing companies, there are two kinds of CFOs. The one overwhelmed with manual processes, errors, and lack of control of the numbers, and the one who uses NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. With visibility and control of financials, inventory, HR, planning, and budgeting, NetSuite is everything you need to grow, all in one place. The CFOs that get it. The CFOs that don't. Head to netsuite.com/KJM for a special one-of-a-kind financing offer. netsuite.com/KJM.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT FM Pegram, WPUZ HD2 Laverne, broadcasting 97.5 Murfreesboro, 106.3 Williamson County,
ESPN
102.5 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell Media Station.
It's Robby and Rexrode with Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Welcome back in. Final hour of Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game, brought to you by Little Guys Movers. Here's your chance to be your own boss. Join their team of 30-plus years of profits and good times. Visit littleguysfranchise.com. Robby Stanley alongside Joe Rexrode and Michelle Knezvik here with you on this Tuesday morning. And we go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. And welcome in Charles Robinson from Yahoo Sports. Charles, what's going on? How we doing?
I'm doing well. How you guys doing today?
We're wonderful. Appreciate you taking time to be with us. So, Charles, the Baker Mayfield situation still ongoing. He is still a member of the Cleveland Browns. Have we reached the point with him where teams are waiting on a release? How likely do you think a trade still is between the Browns and an interested party for Baker Mayfield?
Yeah, what's interesting is, so I'm in Palm Beach, and you talk to a lot of different teams, and there's definitely interest in him. I don't think there's any question that if he were a free agent commodity, there'd be quite a few teams that would be interested in talking to him, whether it's, a 1-year window with him, a 2-year window. But everybody's sort of sitting there going, yeah, they're in a bad situation there. We're just going to wait until they release him. And the thought process from the team sort of looking at the Browns is that Baker will make it difficult, and everybody believes that the Browns are going to sit there and go, we're not going to deal with this awkwardness. Baker Mayfield's very active on social media. He's been outspoken. His reps are outspoken. At some point, the Browns are going to get tired of it and walk away, especially considering they've clearly committed to not only Deshaun Watson as their starter, but Kevin Stefanski is coming out and talking about a potential suspension with Deshaun Watson. And he focused that through Jacoby Brissett, preparing Jacoby Brissett to start if Deshaun Watson were not able to go. And so, I think there's a thought process amongst some teams that the Browns could kind of go down the route they did with Odell Beckham Jr., which was to say, look, we're willing to release you, but we got to work out something on the guaranteed money end. We don't want to pay your entire salary. If you want to go, let's work something out so you can hit free agency and get out there and pick a team or whatever. But from a trade standpoint, a few teams mentioned, hey, if they want to pay the vast majority of his salary, maybe there's a trade asset there to be had. It would probably be a late-round pick at best. There's just not – the only way the Browns get out of this with anything from Baker Mayfield is if something occurs to create a market for him out there with other NFL teams, and right now that hasn't happened. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see how this goes, and the 49ers are in a similar boat with Jimmy Garoppolo as well. Just not a market there, and even some teams that are quarterback needy are sort of like, hey, we're fine. We'll wait and see, and we'll keep looking at these quarterbacks in the draft.
Well, let's stick with Browns quarterbacks. Charles, what did you think of Deshaun Watson's presser?
Not great. I thought it was about as good as it could have been regardless. It was not going to be an easy thing for the Browns. Any team that acquired him, I think, it was interesting talking to a few of the teams that missed out. what their thoughts were once they actually saw that press conference, knowing that that's sort of what they would have gone through. And they all kind of shrugged and said, yeah, that's pretty much what you were signing up for. You knew that when this unfolded, there were going to be a lot of difficult questions, a lot of uncomfortable questions, and you were going to have to talk about your process in terms of vetting Deshaun Watson. And there weren't a lot of great answers there, particularly considering I know the Browns weren't the only team that were advised, hey, don't reach out to these women that have filed these civil suits because it could come off as you're bullying them or, you're stepping into this litigation in a way that could influence them or make them feel a certain way about pursuing these cases with, against Deshaun Watson. And you just don't want to become a part of that process or meddle with it. And so it sounds like when the Browns said, hey, we tried to use third-party unbiased resources to try and get a feel for what was going on with the civil cases. I think other NFL teams did the same thing. Just felt like we can't go down that road. We're going to have to, outsource it, and it's not a great way to handle it. But, beyond just the press conference, I think the biggest thing is when you go around and look at other teams, I mean, they're all upset about the $230 million in guaranteed money. Probably the most interesting thing about the football end of this was when this all started and the civil suits were filed, and we're talking over a year ago here, people were thinking, well, Deshaun Watson is this distressed football asset, and there's going to be an element of getting a discount for sort of a damaged goods player, not to be insensitive here, but that's how teams were looking at him from a football aspect. There was no discount here. It was the opposite. There was no distressed asset here. It was the opposite. The Browns paid full price for him in trade, and then they gave him a contract that's, going to warp a lot of other elite quarterback negotiations. So pretty remarkable the way that it's gone down, and we have yet to, hear really where the NFL is at with their investigation. I still think there's a chance Deshaun Watson doesn't see the football field in 2022, or at least a large portion of it, or maybe he does and then misses part of 2023. There's definitely there are events in the future that are going to weigh pretty heavily on Deshaun Watson being on the football field.
Charles Robinson from Yahoo Sports on the line with us, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Charles, what do you make of what the Titans have done this offseason? Harold Landry back, Julio Jones out, Robert Woods in, Austin Hooper in at the tight end position. When you look at the Titans and just what they've brought back to the table compared to the rest of the AFC, what do you think of the spot that Mike Vrabel and company are in right now?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I think, Julio going out and being replaced by Robert Woods, obviously there's a timeline there with the injury recovery, but the Rams loved Robert Woods. I mean, that is a guy that it was not a great day for them when they knew he was no longer going to be in the fold. He meant a lot to them. He did a lot of little things on offense, a lot of big things, obviously, that, statistically everybody noticed, but he was also a small details guy that they really valued a lot. And, I think they were bummed to have to go down that road with him, but economically, when they looked at things and how they wanted to structure the rest of the offseason, it made the most sense. They're still trying to get Odell Beckham Jr. in the fold. So it wasn't, it was a negative for the Rams, which I think is a positive for the Titans. You always want to pick up players that other franchises value and just sort of feel like there's a fork in the road and there's not really much that they can do about it. So, I think that's good for the Titans. We'll see what he looks like health-wise. I thought Austin Hooper was interesting, too, because I had a chance to talk to somebody with the Browns yesterday about him. And, they're just like, look, he's not a bad football player. Like, we still think the potential's there for him to realize what we thought he could be when we brought him in after, he started his career with Atlanta. And, for whatever reason, it didn't connect in Kevin Stefanski's offense. It didn't connect with Baker Mayfield, and they kind of felt like we have to make a decision here financially. I think if they could have reworked the money a little bit, there was a chance that he might have remained there, and that just wasn't going to happen. So I think that's another good thing that you don't hear the Browns just completely saying like, hey, it was just a disaster and a huge mistake. They were just like, for a litany of different reasons, it didn't work out. And by the way, Austin Hooper wasn't the only offensive player it didn't work out with Baker Mayfield at quarterback. So, I think that's a positive. I'll tell you what, though. I think right now, what I'm thinking about as a Titans fan is the wide receiver money, because John Robinson's got to be sitting there going, man, this is, we got a kid in our building who's, really right on the cusp of being an absolute elite level wide receiver. I expect will climb into the sort of that echelon this season. And every team with a wide receiver that's on that elite level, I'm talking top 5, 6, 7 guys, are all sitting there going, these are now $25 million players. These are $27 million players, or $28 million players. I know some people are saying, well, what's the real money look like? All these different things. I'm just telling you, it's what has happened with Devontae Adams and then Tyreek Hill behind it. What happened with Christian Kirk and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, it has dramatically altered how wide receivers are going to get paid in this game. So a lot of teams are going to have to make difficult decisions. And I think if you're the Titans and you're John Robinson, you're like, we got to get ahead of this as quickly as we can, or maybe it's already too late. That's where the interesting thing is with the Chiefs. It was just too late. Like, I think they thought we're going to get Tyreek Hill back for $21 million a year, maybe 21 to 22, right in that range. And then the Devontae Adams deal dropped, and it was just like, wow, this has changed everything. We waited too long. Realistically, they probably should have tried to get that thing done, maybe a month earlier than they really did.
Yeah, and then you got the Jags and their GM Super Dave just throwing out ridiculously dumb money for people who shouldn't. So that helps the market a lot. I mean, AJ Brown immediately had a gift for that deal.
Yeah, and it's the thing is too, like, the Browns, this is always true in the NFL, where you have teams of desperation, and sometimes it's not like the whole entire organization's desperate. Sometimes it's you're desperate for just a quarterback. So in the Browns situation, what they do for Deshaun Watson, it was because right up to ownership, everybody was desperate to resolve quarterback. So you warp the market with what you do with Deshaun Watson. For the Jaguars, they're desperate just to get anybody in the door. So, I have a guy there, and we talked, and I said, hey, this is going down really negative, these deals you signed, and do you understand? And he's like, look, got to get people in here. Like, we have to have pieces for Trevor Lawrence, and so we got to overpay right now until we're established and good, and Trevor turns that corner. We're going to have to pay a lot of money, and that's going to hurt other teams in the league, but they're just kind of like, what can we do about it?
Well, they could draft people, but hey, whatever. I mean, just a thought.
I totally understand that, and trust me, there's a lot of wide receivers that are going to be drafted and replacing a number of good players. Like we're sitting here right now, we're like, there's no way AJ Brown could ever, they're not going to let him go. Deebo Samuel, they're not going to let him go. Okay, sure, right. I mean, I thought that about Tyreek Hill. That dramatically changes what's great about the Kansas City Chiefs offense. Thought that about Devontae Adams. I mean, those are two wide receivers who were unbelievably suited to the quarterbacks that were, upper echelon quarterbacks and elite level quarterbacks, and yet look what happens. So don't think that it's a guarantee that something gets done with your guy. I think that's a mistake. I think a lot of teams are weighing that out right now.
Well, and this is why, Charles, as I look to the draft of the Titans, I'm not willing to rule out that this is their attempt at getting their next QB. Like if they love, say, a Desmond Ridder, who they will have the best intel on of any team in this draft, right, based on Vrabel and Fickell's relationship. I guess my question for you on that would be, I don't know, we did a beat writer mock draft The Athletic, and one QB went in the first round. Yeah. I just can't buy that that's actually going to happen. Is that actually going to happen?
No, I don't think. I think it's interesting too that you bring up Ridder, because he is definitely someone that teams like him. They like the makeup there. They kind of like what he has going for him. I'll be honest with you, I haven't done a ton of draft work up to this point. Free agency and every other thing that's been going on this offseason has been too crazy, but I have heard him from a couple of teams as I've asked them to, like, hey, kind of square this out. There are teams that hate the entire quarterback class. There are teams that are kind of like, yeah, there will be an overspend for a player. And then there are others that are like, hey, we do this where we think we have the quarterback class nailed down. and then it turns out we don't at all. But Ritter's one that, I think it's pretty interesting you bring him up because he is one that some teams I respect from a quarterback evaluation standpoint really like what he brings to the table and sort of the leadership mentality and some of the things that he's been able to accomplish in that program and the teams he's been able to compete with. As far as only one quarterback going in the first round, I'm just telling you, like Carolina, they're going to do something at quarterback, okay? And I think if Baker Mayfield were to become a free agent, that's a team that would look at him amongst many, many other teams. But I sit there and I'm like, I feel like when Matt Rule says, yeah, I think there could be a top 10 quarterback, part of me wonders if he's sort of laying the groundwork for, well, we might take a quarterback in the top 10. So we have to make sure that, people aren't, I'm not out here saying, no, I don't think there's a top 10 quarterback. And then all of a sudden we take one. So I would be stunned if there's not a quarterback that goes somewhere near the top of top 10, 12, 15 picks. And then I think as you get down to the bottom of the first round, you're going to have teams that sit there and go, okay, well, we could use a quarterback and this gives us a fifth-year option. If we take them now versus a round later or a few picks later, if you're like Detroit sitting there with that Rams pick, aren't you sitting there saying, well, let's just get the quarterback now. That way we have the fifth-year option, which is very, very important nowadays, to have that little bit of leverage for us if we have a quarterback that we want to develop. So I don't know, man. It's a weird draft, and there's so much disagreement across the board, even at the top. That's what's remarkable to me is that even teams weighing out like the best tackles, everybody has their sort of flavor of the player they like at 1, 2, 3, 5, whatever. It's pretty crazy how little agreement there is, even at the very top rungs of the draft. There are teams that don't even like Aiden Hutchinson. Like, this is the guy who go first in the draft. Like, there are teams that are like, yeah, we have him like near the bottom. He's probably like, tier 20 to 30. On our overall board right now. And by the way, none of these boards are set completely at this point at all. But it's definitely, I'm just telling you, I had one AFC GM, he said to me, the good thing about this draft is if you have a bunch of picks in the top 60, there's a lot of similarities between guys you might get at 10 and 50. So if you have a bunch of picks in the top 60, great. You're probably going to get a lot of kind of comparable players from a talent level standpoint. He said, but if you're a team like, we were talking about Detroit, he was like, Detroit's sitting there too. He's like, this is not the year to have two. He's like, because, if it's not Hutchinson and that's your guy, you're staring at, 10, 12, 15 players that might have similar evaluations anywhere from, 2 to 15 on their board. So it's going to be a wild one. There's a lot of predictions about just total surprises coming in this draft.
Charles Robinson from Yahoo Sports, our guest here on Robby and Rexrode, joins us every Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock. Charles, great stuff as always. Enjoy that Palm Beach weather, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks, guys. Talk to you next week.
Absolutely. Charles Robinson,
little beach time.
Our guest here on Robby and Rexrode. We'll take your thoughts on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. Let me tell you about my friends at FanDuel Sportsbook. Right now, FanDuel Sportsbook is giving new customers a $150 instant bonus guaranteed. That's right. You'll get $150 in bonus site credit. And all you have to do is place your first bet of $5 or more. How you bet the bracket's up to you. You can choose from the money line, totals, prop bets, and so much more. I like Duke to take down Carolina this week. I like Villanova to win against Kansas as well. But you take it any way you want to take it. Hey, just join FanDuel today with promo code ROB. Then you can place your $5 bet to score $150 in bonus site credit guaranteed. Once again, that promo code is ROB, exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. You must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable site credit that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Got a gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889 9789.
Tune in every anchors shows for ESPN. Jason Fitz is brought to you by Blood Assurance. Give blood, give local, give life.
The racing, the big one, the camping. It's all just bigger at Talladega. And with a doubleheader on Saturday and the premiere of the next-gen cars on Sunday, it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. NASCAR's biggest and baddest track is back. The Talladega NASCAR Weekend, April 23rd through the 24th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Spring is in the air, and that means all kinds of fun in the sun is just around the corner. But if you're feeling low energy, if you've put on weight and just aren't getting the gains from your workouts, if you aren't sleeping well and your libido isn't what it used to be, maybe you aren't looking forward so much to sunny days and shirtless weather. This is Kim for the Tennessee Men's Clinic, and if this sounds like you, we might very well have the answer, because you may very well be suffering from low testosterone. And that, my friend, is something that can be effectively treated to get you back to the guy you used to be. The Tennessee Men's Clinic has treated thousands of men for low T. Our treatment programs are highly effective, with most men seeing results in just a few weeks. Assuming you're like most guys, you'll sleep better, have better workouts, have higher energy, and your sex life might just improve as well. So give us a call. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T test and a medical consult. Call 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090. Or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects. Treatments extra. Results vary.
Hello, this is Discover, and we take customer service very seriously. We know that if you have a question or concern about your credit card, that's a serious matter, and you need to talk to a real person about it. So we offer around-the-clock access to seriously talented representatives in the USA. Again, it's a serious endeavor. The only funny thing about it is Bob. If you call us and Bob answers, you're in for a treat. Get 100% US-based customer service and talk to a real person day or night. Discover. Exceptionally common sense.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Robby and Rexrode on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform.
1025 The Game has one final chance for you to win with our 14-game bracket challenge. Go to GameNashville.com/bracket challenge to play for a chance to win a pair of tickets to see Shinedown coming up at Bridgestone Arena on May the 4th. The Game Bracket Challenge is brought to you by Coach's Corner Sports Grill in Spring Hill, Days Delta 8, and Wager. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game. Streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. We are live from the Hillside Medical Game Studio here with you on this Tuesday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. Chris Mason, Preds TV analyst, going to join us at 9:30. We'll get his thoughts on the Predators as they take on the Ottawa Senators coming up tonight at Bridgestone Arena. Thanks to Charles Robinson for joining us in the last segment. And it was interesting, Joe. He was talking in that last answer about, talking to an AFC general manager saying if you got a lot of picks in the top 60 this year, probably a pretty good time for that. And I'm thinking about the Titans right now. They have one pick in the top 60 this year. Their first round pick, no second rounder for the Titans at this point. Tough time.
Yeah, not great. Better than, as Charles laid out, the Motor City Kitties get the number 2 pick in a year when it may as well be the number 21 pick. But hey,
okay,
I'm sure the roar is being restored.
Let's talk about that for a minute, because you've got Malik Willis, who is surging up draft boards and is starting to look like he's going to be the first quarterback that's being taken. And in a lot of mock drafts that I'm seeing right now, they've got him going 6 to Carolina. So we'll see if that's true or not. But if you're a team like the Lions, and right now Jared Goff is your quarterback, like, I get it. You could be in a worse situation than Jared Goff. But like, if you love Malik Willis at that position, would you not think about taking him at number 2 if you're the Lions? I sure would.
Oh yeah, if you love him, for sure. Yeah. Then you're good. You're set. But if you prefer Ritter or Corral or Baby Hands, then you obviously you're stuck there probably with that pick. If you don't love Malik Willis, what you want the Panthers to think you're about to draft Malik Willis and then go get another pick and bail out at 2, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're hoping for. But yeah, I mean, it's very simple if you do love him. If that's who you want to be your quarterback of the future, it's very simple.
I don't see anybody having him going there. I guess it's like there's nobody that I've seen that has the Lions taking a quarterback at number 2.
And see that, and that's where the pre-draft buildup, you just have to be careful. Now, I think what that could tell you is that there are people in the organization who are truthfully saying that he's not our guy. But it also could be misinformation because he is their guy. Now, for the Lions to pull out something like that, that'd be almost as amazing as winning a playoff game, but it's possible.
Look, a lot of things going right for the Lions this week. They've gotten Hard Knocks coming up this year. The draft in 2024 will now be in the city of Detroit, edging out Green Bay. Packers Twitter, very upset about this. It's a big win for Detroit this week.
That's right. It is a big week for Detroit. And yes, good call on Detroit. That'll be a fun draft. I mean, I love cheese curds, but that'll be a much more fun draft than it would have been in Green Bay. I saw some Green Bay Twitter yesterday, like they were lamenting I guess because they lost one of their home games this year is London, right? So this is going to make up for that. But I mean, it's in 2024. So, I mean, figure it out, man. Charge more money.
Yeah.
Charge more concessions.
Stock sale. I'll buy it this time.
It's about time. It's about time you were an owner of this team that you love. I'm here for that. But yeah, look, I agree with Charles on it's just like there's no way, right? Like teams that are if a team that likes one of the other guys and they're all still there late, then it totally makes sense to move in the first round. So this could benefit the Titans if they aren't one of those teams, and I still think it's way more likely they don't get a quarterback than likely that they do. And if they are a team that has no interest, well, maybe that 26 spot could be something they could bail out of for somebody who wants to grab a Ritter or Corral or whoever that they think they need to move into that spot to get. So I think the trade down is, if the quarterback group is going to fall that far, as everyone seems to think, then the trade out of that spot and other spots late in the first round, that the likelihood certainly increases.
It's also going to be interesting to see if what Charles was talking about in the last segment takes place and Baker Mayfield is ultimately just released by the Browns. I'm interested to see what the market for him looks like as well.
Yeah. Seattle, Carolina. I mean, these are the two obvious teams.
There's rumblings that the Bucks could be interested in him being the backup if he's released. I'm serious.
And Baker being Brady's backup?
Yes. That'd be something.
How much are they paying Baker?
I don't know.
Maybe Baker will take a tiny deal just to learn from the master.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
He's a very respectful young man who respects his elders.
He does. Coming up next, we'll be joined by Chris Mason, Preds TV analyst. We'll get his thoughts on the Predators as they host the Ottawa Senators later tonight. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
It's been a busy offseason for the Tennessee Titans.
I think this is a one-year prove-it deal for Austin Hooper.
Big move for the Titans. Robert Woods. He fits what they want to do.
Harold Landry. I think he likes playing here. The Titans keep the cap number small. Landry got exactly what he wanted.
Now the focus shifts to the draft. What needs do the two-tone Blues still have?
Who can contribute right now?
Keep it locked to Nashville's best sports talk.
Talking Titans
on ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Willie Donick here for Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. Proud to announce that they have won the Top Gun Award for the best Pella sales organization in the U.S. They have the best culture, best customer satisfaction, and best growth in the business. To celebrate, Pella is offering their amazingly affordable products at 0% financing with no payments for 12 months. Do you need new doors or windows? I suggest you shop with Nashville's Pella experts at Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. Go to PellaofNashville.com.
Markdown madness is almost over, but Electronic Express is still bringing slam dunk deals. Watch the finals with 4K TVs from Samsung, LG, Sony, Hisense, TCL, and more. We've also got huge savings in every department: computers and gaming, smart home, housewares, mattresses, and more. Plus, save up to 40% on all appliances with up to 36 months free financing. Shop in-store or online with free express delivery on most items. Experience Markdown madness at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Hey, it's Jared for TriStar Moving. If you're looking to move, you need to give my friends at TriStar Moving a call. At TriStar Moving, you'll get 5-star service throughout the entire process. Everything will be taken care of, from covering your floors, banisters, railings, front door thresholds, furniture, TVs, and more. They took great care of my move and made it as stress-free as possible. If you're looking to move, give TriStar Moving a call, 615-640-1219, or visit them at nashvillemoving.org/radio and get 5% off your entire move. TriStar Moving, my official movers.
Seriously, it's the same commercial every time.
All right.
Okay? There's 4 major points that we need to make.
Yes, sir.
Good customer service.
All right.
Good quality vehicles.
Check. Got it.
We've been in business since 1987.
87, right.
And we can finance anyone on any car.
Wow. A fiddle player? Any car? How's this? Franklin Motors. The choice is clear. Franklin Motors.
Your ride is here.
FranklinMotorsTN.com, or come on by for a test drive.
How do you make the most of your land? Shaw does it behind the wheel of the John Deere 1025R compact tractor.
Shaw stands for skilled hands at work.
And he lives up to the name as he uses his versatile tractor to make
the earth take the shape that I wanted to take.
And the Allens fire up their John Deere 3032E compact tractor to grow about 9 acres of flowers. Because the beauty of having land is deciding how to make it yours. There are millions of ways to make the most of your land. Learn how to make the most of yours at Deere.com. Nothing runs like a Deere.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids.
Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision?
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One and a member FDIC.
ESPN's Turon Davenport breaks down the Titans like no other.
On the field chemistry, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a process.
Catch TD Mondays at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Fridays at 8. Plus, the Talking with TD podcast drops every Wednesday.
When you draft players, it's not just for one season, it's for a career.
Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, this is Ryan Johansson. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Yo, VIP. Let's kick it.
And it is that time of the week here on Robby and Rexrode. Time to go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. And welcome in Preds TV analyst, former Preds goaltender Chris Mason, brought to you by Coleman Tractor, Middle Tennessee's leading Kubota dealer. C-Mace, what's going on, brother? How we doing?
What's up, guys? Just pulling into Bridgestone here.
Nice. Appreciate you taking time to be with us today, C-Mace. So, obviously, big opportunity tonight for the Predators, 2 points on the line against Ottawa. What did you make of the way they played against Philly the other night, and where do you think their game is as a whole right now as they head into this game against Ottawa?
I think it's getting to a good place. I like the effort last game against Philadelphia. I thought the first period was good. There was a couple breakdowns that ended up in the back of the net. But I felt good about the way that they were playing. They were obviously the better team, I think, for 95% of that game. Unfortunately, Philly was very opportunistic. There's still some breakdown things that I would like the guys to get taken care of in the defensive zone and take a little bit of those high danger scoring chances out of the equation. But I thought as the game went on, I thought their best period was the third period. I thought they really shut it down. They started protecting the middle a lot better. And offensively, I thought they did a really good job of generating the way that they want to generate in that way that they can with getting on the forecheck, and especially that second line starting to generate chances in the middle of the ice opposed to perimeter kind of stuff. And I thought that Luke Cunningham goal was absolutely huge for him in that line because, offensively they've been struggling, even strength. Granny's getting his points on the power play, but 5-on-5, that line has lacked production in the last 20 games or so. So they looked really good, and I thought they got that goal, and I thought Granny was awesome too. So that was big for me.
Teammates, where do you think UC Saros is right now? Do you think that the heaviest workload of his career is wearing on him at all? Do you think that maybe like a rest today, for example, might benefit him?
Yeah, they're going to manage the rest. I mean, they'll take care of the off days, and I'm sure it's an ongoing conversation. I'm sure that has something to do with it. And, there hasn't really been any hiccups in his game. And, you come to a part of the season where he looks human, and it's not like he's letting in bad goals. It's just he's not, saving the day. And, Murphy's Law will take care of that. And I think some of that has to do with the way the guys are defending, and some of it has to do with, just one of those stretches of the season. I felt last game against Philly and maybe, last couple of games, he's had trouble finding the puck through traffic. There's been a lot of scramble situations where he just seems like, earlier in the season, he was finding those pucks through those difficult situations. And it's just the ebbs and flows of a season for a goaltender. Sometimes, you're going to get the fortunate bounce. You're not going to see the puck and it's going to hit you. And sometimes it's going to go off two shin pads in the back of the net, or there's two guys in front of you and you can't find it, but it hits that corner, that empty space that's in the back of the net. So I'm not too concerned, but I definitely do think, to your point, Joe, that rest is going to be absolutely crucial down the stretch, because they're in a good spot. I think playoffs wise, you can't mess around, too much, I guess, with, the rest situation, but you have to monitor it, and it has to be, I know it's, a big thing for the coaching staff is to make sure they get, those breaks in there for them, because, if you want to do anything in playoffs, you need Saros absolutely fresh. You can't ride him, all the way down the stretch. He's had an extremely busy workload. So I know that's something they're very conscious of.
Chris Mason on the line with us here on Robby and Rexrode, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. See, Mason, what do you make of the Norris Trophy discussion with Yossi and Makar and Hedman and Fox and all these guys? Obviously, we watch Roman Yossi play on a nightly basis. He's about to break the single-season franchise points record. He could end up with 100 points this year as a defenseman, which is just absurd. Overall, when you factor in the entire discussion, what do you make of the Norris Trophy race at this point of the season?
Well, I think, it's all about the narrative. I think, it's so tough to change up. I think it is changing. I think, let's say the midpoint of the season, I think everybody just handed it to Makar. It was Cale Makar's award. He's got all the goals. He's an unbelievable player. He's having a Norris Trophy caliber season. If these guys are having these seasons in any different years, they're both going to win the Norris Trophy. Unfortunately, they're going toe-to-toe right now. They both got some unique elements and special things about them that you could make arguments for. But I think you see recently, people starting to talk about Roman Yossi, and now he's the favorite because of what he's doing. And I think, and I try to take bias out of it, because everybody's like, oh, you work for the Predators and this and that. We've been through this with Yossi before. We've been through it with Pecorine. You try to take the bias and the fact that you watch the guy every single night, because I can see how easy, it is to get caught up in your own guys. But when you take a step back and you start doing side-by-side comparisons and a lot of the, other elements, other aspects of just the points, you really can see the value. And we've had other broadcasters come up to Willie and I and say, wow, I had Makar pegged for sure until, I watched you guys do a side-by-side, and I didn't look at that aspect of it, or I didn't look at that side of the analytics part. So that's, to me, what separates Yossi. And then if you want to go offense, I mean, there's just no question that he's the best all-around defenseman in the league right now. I think Hedman is awesome. He can almost win every year. Fox has obviously come on the scene, won last year. But I think it's a two-man race, and I think right now I really find it difficult to pick anybody than Yossi. You could make an argument. I even asked Roman himself, and he said, you know what? He goes, Makar's unbelievable. He said, I wouldn't be upset if he won it. He deserves to win it this year as well. But to me, I think, especially with what he's doing right now, and you look at those numbers, and, he's doing things. He's broke an assist record in March that he just broke Bobby Orr's record. And some of the names that he's up there with right now in the season that he's having a historic campaign. So as of now, if the season were to end today, to me, he's a no-doubt winner of the Norris Trophy.
Chris, what do you think of Jeremy Lozon so far? And what do you think is the ideal 6 as this team moves, into the crunch time and then into the postseason if they get there?
Well, I think he's been good. I mean, it's tough. He's coming to a new team. I think he's going to fit in. I still feel, you're playing with different partners. I see some, maybe communication and chemistry things out there that could get better and will get better as the more he plays. But, he definitely, I feel defensively, he's hard to play against. He's physical. He doesn't try to do anything, out of his skill set. And right now he's keeping it simple and straightforward. Like Hines would want with that. And I know John Hines likes to pair, maybe one puck mover with more of a defensive minded defenseman. And, he's playing with Ekholm now. So that's allowing Ekholm to be a little more offensive. I think when him and Carrier are together, they're great. But Ekholm also has to keep in mind that Carrier is going to get in the rush. And, so you have some of that kind of balance. And I feel right now Ekholm's playing, some unbelievable hockey because, he's afforded, the flexibility to jump in a little more. And Lozon is that defensive mind guy who's going to stay back. And, so I feel that's a good fit right now. But at the end of the day, the fix going forward, I think is they need everybody healthy back then, when they have their top 4. And, maybe Lozon right now is playing a little above his minute range. I know he played, a bunch in Seattle, 15 to 20 minutes a game in that 18 kind of minute range. So he's capable of pulling down those minutes. But when you get into the 20 plus, that's something that, few guys can do. And, they had the good thing going there with the top 4, but I think they're doing okay. And I really like Jeremy Davies as well. I think he's got that escapability in the corners where you can shake guys off and, tight turn and get that puck moving out of the zone. So I like that back there. And then again, you have Benning, who's more of a defensive minded guy. So I feel right now they've got good balance, but ideally you'd maybe like Lozon down on that third pair.
Chris Mason, our guest here on Robby and Rexrode, joins us every Tuesday morning at 9:30, brought to you by Coleman Tractor, Middle Tennessee's leading Kubota dealers. See, Mace, great stuff as always. Appreciate you taking time to join us and have fun on the broadcast tonight.
Thanks, guys. Great talking to you.
Absolutely. Chris Mason, our guest here on Robby and Rexrode, joins us every Tuesday morning at 9:30. It is interesting, like watching Willie and C-Mace and the team on Valley Sports, like break down some of the numbers between Yossi and Makar. This is going to be quite the race coming down the stretch. And, I talked about this a little bit yesterday on Preds Insiders, but, how much does where they are in the standings factor into this conversation? Like how much does Makar and the Avalanche basically being number 1 all season long, how much does that factor in? I think it does factor in some.
No question. And Hedman and Lightning are, we know what the Lightning are. So, and look, to his point, I'm glad that he laid it out like that because, hey, announcers who watch Fox every night, I'm sure they're saying, well, how is he not getting more notice? You're going to have a certain element of that, but I think you can objectively step back from this thing and look at, as he said, historic numbers. I think triple digits is going to be a necessity for Roman Josi to have a shot here. But again, 3 points tonight. There you go. You break Bobby Orr's month record, stuff like that. I don't see how you couldn't step back now if you really are trying to figure out who should win this and say that Yossi's in the top 2. And then, if it gets to that, then maybe in the final month, it becomes interesting, and it becomes a discussion too, a discussion of, okay, this isn't just, Makar's year. There's actually like 2 guys who are having outrageous years.
We'll continue the discussion. Take more of your thoughts on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025, The Game.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red weather alert.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Severe weather potential for tomorrow afternoon and evening. Today, just looking at warm and windy times with highs back into the lower 70s.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the happy face truck today. Realizing Geico's great service and licensed agents are available at your fingertips is like realizing the plastic piece that comes with your pizza isn't a tiny doll table. It's to keep the box from touching the pizza.
Hey, the pizza's stuck to the box. Where's that little plastic thing?
Dolly needed it for her tea party.
It's something that's been right there in front of you all along, like the dedicated Geico claims team available to you in the event of an accident to get you back on the road quickly, or how your smartphone charges faster when you put it on airplane mode.
Wow, what if I put it on rocket mode?
It's something you can't believe you never realized before, like how Geico's industry-leading app lets you pay your bill, file a claim, manage your policy, or summon help when you need it. Or how those holes in your shower caddy are there so you can store your shampoo bottles upside down.
Showers happen fast when you're not waiting on shampoo.
Great service. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
Trying to find a new home right now is next to impossible. Very little inventory, prices are crazy high, rates are moving up. Here's a better idea. Let my friends at Loan Pronto refinance your current home, turn all that equity you have into cash, and totally transform your house. A new kitchen, new bathroom, a pool. Think about it. Your home value is up. Instead of wasting all that on an overpriced new house, convert that equity into cash for a home makeover. One local couple did it and got $200,000 out. They added new hardwoods, an outdoor living space, a swimming pool with spa and all new cabinets and appliances, plus a home office. Now they have their dream home, and they never had to move. Call Loan Pronto. Ask about their home improvement refi. Give your home a total makeover and do it now. You can even skip your next house payment in the process. Call now, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Dashboard light problems? We can help. Our free Fix Finder service can read your check engine light, ABS light, and service indicator light, and give you possible solutions, verified by licensed technicians. You'll even get detailed results sent straight to your email so you have them when you need it most. It's the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes. The free Fix Finder service, only at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
More details at AutoZone.com.
Sometimes their glass is half full.
That was unbelievable. It was the best NFL draft they've ever had.
Sometimes glass half empty.
What are we getting ourselves into here? Tough game.
And sometimes it's all about the numbers.
One win, and they've gone on this streak, and now they're at 500.
Hang out with Darren, Donick, and Chase from 10 to 2 during your workday. Presented by Curacion CBD on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
This is Robby and Rexrode on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Welcome back in. Final segment of the day here on Robby and Rexrode, brought to you by Little Guys Movers. Here's your chance to be your own boss. Join their team of 30-plus years of profits and good times. Visit littleguysfranchise.com. Robbie Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Michelle Knezikovic here with you on this Tuesday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. Joe Rexrode, 40 years ago today, the legend of Michael Jordan was born. Hits the game winner in the national title game 40 years ago today on March 29th, 1982 against Georgetown.
Good stuff in New Orleans, by the way.
Wow.
A Final Four in New Orleans, which has been a regular Final Four spot, which Nashville may soon become. But yes, you think about that time in college basketball, you had, let's see, James Worthy and Sam Perkins, and on the other side, you had Patrick Ewing, guys who stayed in college for 4 years before going on to the NBA. I mean, college basketball was so loaded with great players who didn't even really think about going early. Kind of wild to think about. Another thing about that shot by Jordan, I think it came with like 20 seconds left or something. That, I think some people think it was a buzzer beater. It was like there was a lot of time left. Great shot, won the game. Of course, that game also ended with Fred Brown of Georgetown. Well, it did. You can shake your head, but it ended with Fred Brown of Georgetown throwing the ball to the wrong team and losing it. And so Georgetown never got its own chance at a final shot.
One thing you can always count on with Joe Rexrode, whether it be Tom Brady or Michael Jordan, he will find a way to take credit away from those two guys.
Yeah,
he will find a way to do it.
What are you talking about? I'm telling you the facts. Anyone who watched that game, I mean, that's like extreme. I mean, that's a heartbreaking thing for Fred Brown of Georgetown. It's one of the most famous gaffes in sport history. So I'm not taking credit away from Michael Jordan. Great. I mean, he was a freshman who hit the winning shot. I mean, I got all credit to Michael Jordan. I'm just giving you the facts of the game, man. Fred Brown, look it up. Poor
Joe
guy.
Rexrode, the only person in America that would rather have Tyler Hansborough over Michael Jordan on his basketball team and would rather have Dan Fouts over Tom Brady as his quarterback.
Wait, what did I say about Tyler Hansborough?
You didn't. I thought of a random North Carolina player.
I'm like, I did though. Let's see, what would this be? Exactly 13 years ago. I did watch that North Carolina team with Tyler Hansborough beat Michigan State 8-2 in an NCAA championship game in Detroit. Maybe we can ask Izzo about that tomorrow.
Yeah, by the way, Tom Izzo will be on our show tomorrow at 7 a.m. So Michigan State head coach Tom Izzo joining the show tomorrow at 7 a.m. I'm hoping that Izzo has some nice Rexrode stories for us. That
Me
could be
too, Rob.
special.
I don't know, man. We'll see. A lot of the stories would be too profane to say on the radio, probably. I'm interested in finding out which media member he hates the most now. That's what I'm interested to find out. I got a few names I got to throw at him. Okay, who is annoying you the most on the beat these days?
Go to our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Ron texting in says, I heard you guys mention Cam Newton earlier. Does Cam Newton have a job yet this year in the NFL? As far as I know, no. I believe Carolina said today that they are open to Cam Newton returning to their team. Now, what does that mean? And does that mean as a starter? I don't know. I kind of doubt it. But apparently the Panthers are at least open and have not ruled out re-signing Cam Newton back there in Carolina.
More exciting news on the NFL front. The Saints have announced, or someone, I guess, at the owners meetings has said that Taysom Hill is purely a tight end now. So maybe it's sad news for some who really thought it was all going to come together for Taysom Hill, but now he can focus in, and you know what? He's paid a lot of money for being a okay tight end in the NFL. But hey, good on him.
Are they trying to tell me that he's not gonna get the ball in the backfield sometimes? He's not gonna take a few snaps and throw that thing every now and then, because he's going to. We know.
I'm sure he will. But at least, you kind of end the idea that at some point he's going to figure it out and be able to be a regular quarterback in this league. I mean, I think that we should all realize now that that's not happening.
That was always pretty amazing. Like, don't you think at some point, like, first off, it feels like Taysom Hill's been in the league for 15 years at this point. I know he hasn't.
He was like 28 when he came into the league too, by the way.
Yeah. It's amazing. But like at some point in the first couple of years, if you've not figured it out at the NFL quarterback position and you're not really playing the quarterback position, like that's not a position where you just say, all righty, now's the time. I'm ready now. We'll give this thing a shot.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe sometimes, players on the practice field are one thing and then they're different in games. Maybe that's part of it. I don't know. We need to ask Adam Vingan. I'd like to know what Vingan thinks about that, and also how nervous he is that Carolina is going to do it to K again on Saturday.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting to see. Don't want to be Vingan if they lose that game. That's for sure. Don't want to be in the crowd around Coach K if they lose that game either. Maybe another speech coming their way.
Yeah. While Carolina celebrates, he's going to make the entire, the entire stadium just shush while he
be quiet.
Yeah.
I have things to say.
Kristen told me this was still very acceptable.
It was very innocent with Coach K the other day, but he was doing like the post-game interview after they won the game. And I can't remember which Duke player it was. They ran up and like grabbed him on the shoulder and just started like screaming the GOAT into the camera. And he was just like, shut up. I was like, this guy really likes telling people to be quiet. It's amazing.
Let me answer that. I'll answer that. I feel like my impression is getting worse and worse. I need this to end.
You should do your impression for Izzo tomorrow. Ask him if it's pretty accurate. Your Coach K one
impersonation. Yeah, he'd probably like that. He wouldn't laugh on the show, but he'd laugh afterward.
That's right. David on the text line says, New Orleans has been good to North Carolina with 82's Jordan shot and 93 game versus Michigan as well. Maybe a repeat coming up for North Carolina and New Orleans.
Well, and if they win on an opponent's horrific mistake, because you got the Fred Brown throwaway and you got the Chris Webber timeout. So, if Boncaro, dribbles it off his knee or something as he's going in for the game-winning dunk, then we'll know that it's about New Orleans.
Coach K calls a timeout when they don't have any. Just repeats Chris Webber. The good stuff.
Yeah, that'd be an amazing way to go out. We can all hope.
That would be.
Except for all the casual fans out there who Dan Wolken think are rooting for Coach K.
That was quite the take by Vol Twitter's favorite guy, Dan Wolken, out there the other day. It's good stuff. People are just a bunch of Duke fans out here, apparently.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure. So much more likable.
Yeah, really a lot more likable. Joe, big game for the Preds tonight. Not necessarily in terms of who their opponent is, but this is a game where you need to win. They need to come out of there with 2 points tonight. Really need to come out of there with 2 points against Buffalo as well. I'm interested to see if Saros starts tonight. I think he will. So I don't know if there's going to be much drama there, but this is a game where the Predators need to win and they need to really handle business tonight at Bridgestone Arena.
Yeah, you need to be sitting there with 4 relatively pain-free points when you go to sleep Friday night. That's a successful week, and maybe one of these games giving Saros a rest. Maybe. I think there's a case to be made for that with what's ahead.
I think there is too. We'll wait and see what happens on that front and see if that happens maybe tonight against the Ottawa Senators. That does it for us today here on Robby and Rexrode. We'll be back 6 a.m. tomorrow. Darren Donick and Chase up next. This is ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Weekday mornings